Hey y'all, Bloodwing here, back to bring some grumpiness to your internet. Welcome back to Redneck Radio, the live stream where you always get an extra side of pinto beans and cornbread. How's that? That sounds good to me.
Oh, delicious.
With me, as always, is Irate Bear. Say hello, Bear.
Hello, everybody. I hope you're all well. Happy Saturday. Hope you're having a nice weekend thus far.
Yeah, I know mine's wet. By the way, it's thunderstorming here in Indianapolis in the middle of freaking March. And so if the stream just drops away, you know my power probably got knocked out. So
I hopefully that doesn't happen.
yeah. Oh, and a super chat.
Oh no.
Right off the bat. You saw who it was, didn't you?
Yeah.
Campbell 300. Thank you for the donation. Bear, why can I super gosh, my eyes aren't focusing.
Should I read
Bear,
it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Bear, why can I super chat your channel? I'm not going to say it because we're on Bloodwing's channel. Heart emoji.
Oh, there's Ren. Hi, Ren. You're in the middle of a blizzard right now. Well, I will take the thunderstorms over the blizzard, sweetheart. Sorry to tell you. I feel for you.
In Cheshire today.
Yeah.
Very
I'm
windy.
so over winter. I am done with it. I'm done.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't last as long as that last one where we used to hang out all the time.
Yeah.
That one lasted it felt like about 9 months.
It's just been, everything's been severe. I mean, when it hasn't gone at it often, but when it goes out, it goes at it hard.
Yeah. Oh, you've had the bloody vortex, which I imagine has made it 100 times worse. And now you've got rainstorms.
Well, just earlier this week, it was 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, I don't know what that is Celsius, but that's really cold.
Yeah, that's really cold, yeah.
Trez, thanks for stopping by and hitting the like, and we will try to have a great stream. Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you, Trez.
Campbell 300 again. Put on your glasses, you coffin dodger. 1488.
There you go. You got him to say something edgy, Campbell. There you go.
Yeah. My glasses are on, but for your information, I wear trifocals. So yeah, that's 3 lenses on each eye. Try seeing out of those.
I've quite thick lenses myself, to be honest. I've really bad eyesight.
Yeah,
really bad eyesight.
I haven't. I've only been wearing well, I wore glasses as a kid for a while, and then I lost them. And when mom took me back to get my eyes checked again, they said, well, they've corrected themselves, which I didn't know they'd done that, but he doesn't need glasses anymore. So I didn't wear glasses from that point until I was 30 years old, probably.
Yeah.
Ren says 10 degrees, freaking balmy weather. Been negatives for weeks here. Having winter. I know. I'm done with it.
Sarkasiro says, sorry I missed BWB. All right, Bear. I went to bed. Honestly, I thought you gave up on doing the morning streams. No, it's not that, mate. It's just that I've been focusing a great deal more on spending my mornings trying to pump out content. Everyone's channel has an optimal time to release a video. And I ideally like to spend my morning like 4 or 5 hours, putting a video together, doing the research, stuff like that, and then trying to get it out around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, my time. For Irate Bear, I still haven't figured out the optimal upload time for Irate Alex, but see, it's a young channel.
Yeah. Thord Midnight says, mine did that too. I assume he's talking about his eyes correcting themselves. But yeah.
And where were you this morning, Campbell? I did breakfast with Bear and you were nowhere to be seen. I am disappointed. I am disappointed.
Oh well.
How are you, Bloodwing?
I'm doing good. Doing real good. I mean, tired and old and all of those things that are every day. And as I was telling you just for the stream, I forgot to take my medicine today. Bad me. It's too late now. I'll have to just skip it today and take it tomorrow. Campbell 300. Thank you for the donation. You're from a better time, old man. Hashtag bring back lynching. Well, I'm not quite that. Well, I guess I am. I was born during the civil rights. I was born in 60. Yeah, so
a grilling pirate Pete says Ira Alex Shuttle is so young that R. Kelly wants to date it.
Oh, that reminds me of a great dad joke that I heard on the Bob and Tom show yesterday. What do you get when you cross a pedophile with a rap artist? Or no, not with a rap artist. A pedophile. I said I messed up the joke, didn't I? What do you get when you cross a pedophile with a pirate?
What?
R. Kelly.
Oh, for God's sake. Terrible.
Thank you, Angel. This is Love You, Blood Wayne, you sexy old man. Why? Thank you. And thank you for the donation, Pumpkin Trucker. I'll see your cornbread and raise you a fried catfish, buttermilk biscuit, and apple dumpling with a big glass of Mama's sweet tea. Sold. Where's it at?
I would like an apple dumpling. I would like one.
Yeah.
Can I have one?
Okay, sorry. Got a little bit distracted there. I was looking at something, and you know me, I can't do two things at once. That's impossible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've done all right, Bear. And as you know, and people that follow me, some of you on Twitter know, we have a guest this weekend.
Do we?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. The youngest daughter has decided to take a trip up to Michigan to visit the oldest daughter. You all know her as Mama Minnie that shows up in the chat from time to time. And we're dog sitting for the weekend while she takes her tweet.
Oh, yeah. I thought you actually had a guest to bring on then for a second.
No. I do have a guest, and maybe I can bring her on. Come here, Precious. Come here.
Why can't I see you?
Okay. Yeah, they'll be able to here in a minute. All right. Let's see if we can get this camera working. Warn you folks, my camera sucks.
There he is. There's a doggy.
There I am. And this is my grand dog. What do you think? Can you see him, Precious?
What's going on, Precious?
Can you see him?
You're not like the stupid dogs next door.
I love you too. I love you too, baby. Oh. You can't tell this dog likes me, huh? Oh. All right. That's enough of that.
There you go.
All right. Go get Memo, baby. Go get Memo. All right. Anyway, yeah, we got a guest host to the stream today.
There you go. And you got two super chats, mate.
All right. Hold on. She knocked half my earpods out. She knocked it out of my good ears, so could barely hear. Thank you, Campbell 300. What you get when you cross a pedophile with a pile of dog crap? The Prophet Muhammad. And thank you, Cryptic. So your daughter dropped off food. I am not Asian, buddy. That's for you. Let's see. This always now that I've got Super Chat and Streamlabs both going, and they both have the same alert on my. It confuses me. So let me check and make sure I don't have any.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, it's been good. It's been good. Some of you may not know that, you know, as grumpy as I am, I'm a huge softie for dogs. I love me some doggies, and a huge soft spot. So it's been fun taking care of her this weekend. We can't afford to have a dog ourselves, but you know, having 3 days. And and it kind of fills up the empty space. Since all the grandkids have moved out, it gets kind of quiet around here, a little too quiet sometimes.
You get yourself a nice little yappy dog, so you have to walk them, because just them running from one side of the house, like one side of the house to the other, is like a freaking marathon for them.
But yeah, so what y'all think of Precious? She's a sweetheart. She's an absolute sweetheart. She's a pain in the butt, but she's a sweetheart.
She's a lovely doggo.
Yeah.
I even sent a picture of my dog to Bloodwing today as well.
Yeah.
Pain in the ass. Trying to get a picture of it. Wouldn't stay still. Kept thinking it was friggin' playtime. I'm like, come here.
Well, at least she didn't wake you up in the middle of the night. When I went to bed last night, I didn't shut her up in the bedroom door. I don't feel right doing that, locking the dog in the bedroom. So I left the door open so she could roam the house if she wanted to. And she kept coming in like every couple of hours through the night and jumping on me, wanting to play fight. I'm like, dog, I'm sleeping. Stop it. Go to sleep. But yeah,
bless her.
Yeah, I love her, and as you can tell, she kind of likes me too.
Yeah, she loves you lots and lots.
So, yeah, we've got stuff and stuff today. I think. Thank you, Maniac Man. Yeah, that's my winter growth. Here as soon as the weather straightens out, I'll be cutting my hair and my beard. But I let it grow out in the winter. Sorry about my hair. I know it was a mess, guys. I just had a nap and haven't combed it. But
you need looking after, old man.
Yeah, I know. I know. But okay, I'm sure you guys have noticed the title. A joke is a joke is a joke until you've tasted Kool-Aid. Now that's a play. That's a play on words on an old commercial here in the States. There's a beer. I assume it's still around. I don't drink much, so I don't know. It's called Hamm's beer. HAMM''S. Hamm's. Their mascot was a cartoon bear, by the way.
Hey, I'm a cartoon bear.
Yeah. But back in the 70s and 80s, they used to have a commercial where they had a jingle which said, a beer is a beer is a beer is a beer until you've tasted Hamm's. But yeah, today a joke is a joke is a joke is a joke till you've tasted Kool-Aid. And I think Bear's figured out by now what that's about. We've had a little bit of a kerfuffle on Twitter today.
It's a bit of an understatement, to be fair.
Yeah. A certain Mr. Waz Lee took notice of our favorite UK bear.
Basically, what happened is what the story was is I made a video. I think it was last week or something. At the start of the video, I had a little bit of a dig at Wasley and his very, very, very long video regarding Gamergate, and he obviously had a little bit of a dig at the anti-SJWs, blah de blah de blah.
He ain't lying. It was an hour and 7 minutes, folks. Part 1 of 3.
Yeah, and I had a little bit of a dig at something that he said near the end, where I interpret it as him saying that there's only so many times that you can make certain types of jokes before you're viewed as such. So basically, in our context, there's only so many Nazi jokes you can make before you look like a Nazi. And the overall point really was that if you do this kind of thing, then you don't really have the right to complain when people kind of view you as such, right? And treat you as such, right? And I took a bit of issue with that. As far as I'm concerned, if you make jokes, it doesn't really matter what the intent was or what the context was. It's still a joke. And if people want to view you as such and then act like dickheads towards you, that's their problem, not yours. And it's pretty much it's their problem, as far as I'm concerned. And Wosley saw that, and instead of, you know, kind of like saying that, you know, I misinterpreted at the point or whatever else, he took that section of my video and he just added like a little clip to the end that had like a bunch of soldiers like dipping their fingers in the ground and then putting it in their mouth going, oh, that's salty.
Yeah.
So he tried to make out that I was being a salty bitch at his point.
I've seen him trying to defend himself to Sinatra a little bit after that on Twitter, and he says, "No, jokes are all subjective. You know, they may be a joke to the person who told it, but you know, they are open to interpretation by any observer. Just because you don't find it funny, doesn't make it not a joke. But, sorry, no." So,
yeah,
no.
As far as I'm concerned, you know, and yeah, I get it. Like, if you're gonna, if your sense of humor and the things you talk about, it tends to lean one way, then you know people are going to view that. But if they have the problem with it, it's their problem and not really yours, as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you, Campbell 300. Bear, you are the Chico time of the YouTube commentary.
I think I know what that is. Is that a Disney cartoon?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I'm going to Google it.
Yeah, I'll say this, and we're not going to spend a lot on Woz because it's just internet drama is really all it is. But
what fresh hell is this, Campbell?
But
I know who this is. Sorry, my bad. I know who it is. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's Chico time.
What Woz doesn't get is he doesn't need an 1 hour and 7 minute video to explain what happened to him. That's not people's problem. People's problem are that they thought he was one way. He portrayed himself as one way, and then suddenly starts acting another way. So he fooled a lot of people, and people, including myself, don't like being fooled. It makes people mad. So, yeah.
The thing is with Woz's video is that, you know, it's 1 hour and 7 minutes long, and it kind of starts off with the premise, you know, what happened to him. And then then he spends ages talking about Gamergate, and then he has a little bit of a dig at me anti-SJWs and response videos to like people like Ray Dennis and stuff like that. Then kind of like talks about some drama that happened between Sargon and some alt-right people, mentions the alt-right a couple of times. And then when he gets to the end of the video, he says, oh, nothing happened to me. But you know, people had this idea of who he was and what he was about.
That's because that's how you portrayed yourself, Woz. If you weren't really that way, you didn't try very hard to portray yourself otherwise.
Yeah, he's complaining about making yourself look like a Nazi. And then having the right not to complain about it, and then is complaining about the way he portrayed himself. It's not good. Look, Woz.
Maniac Man 2030. I think all the drinking has caused Woz some brain damage. At least Drunkle knows how to work the drunkard angle. All right, so that's enough of that. That's our Twitter drama for today.
Yeah, it's just a spot of drama. I mean, you know, everybody got involved with it pretty much, you know. Good old Sin got in there, defended me a bit, and, you know, raised his own points. You know, Megon raised his own points. A couple other people got involved, really, but in the end, like, Woz just ended up concentrating all of his energy onto Cog, and then he blocked Cog. And Cog is did a stream on the situation right now, and I'm in agreement with Cog. I'm in agreement with Sinatra. I'm in agreement with a Megon. You know, and before anyone says anything, you know, like at first I thought, you know, maybe I misinterpreted him. You know, maybe I watched that, listened to it. Maybe I let some of my bias get to me a bit here. So, you know, I sent the video around. I sent it to Bloodwing. I sent it to Trez. I sent it to a couple other people. And they all agreed with me, you know, and these are the type of people that will tell me if I'm wrong. So,
yeah, even when you don't want to hear it, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm that way to everybody, though.
Yeah.
Search Zero has a point. I hadn't thought about that. It's just the male woolly bumblebee. Ouch. Yeah, I remember her.
Yeah, I remember that bitch. Yeah. And yeah, Bloodwing will straight up tell you as he has done with me a few
I'll
times.
Bear knows I'll defend him to the end because he's my friend. But if he screws up, I'm going to say, Bear, no. Just no. Stop it. Think about it.
Yeah, there was once upon a time, Bloodwing kind of pulled my pants down and spanked me with his belt, you know, and put things into perspective.
I don't know how to be any other way. I really don't. I'm like my mother. Mom used to accuse mom, but people used to accuse mom of being mean and just, you know, all this stuff. And she'd look at him and blink. And honestly, I don't know why you're saying that. But it was because she said what she thought. She didn't sugarcoat it. And it might not be what you wanted to hear. People don't like that.
Yeah, yeah. So, and that is an image I never really wanted. Thanks, I read that.
I thought of that when you said it that way. I'm like, oh gosh, chat's going to have fun with that one.
Yeah, I knew it as soon as I said it. But the point still stands. The point still stands.
Yep. Before we go on with the news, we have 71 watching, 38 likes. We can do better than that. If you want to help out my channel, like and share the stream, because you know YouTube's not gonna. If you want to go any further and feel like it, there are 3 ways that you can financially support me. There are super chats. There is a link for my Streamlabs and a link for my Patreon in the description. So pick your poison, folks. Thank you, Cryptic. Didn't want to know your BDSM with old man.
I appreciate that, Maniac Man. Thank you.
Bloodwing hug. I'm not really much of a hugger, unless it comes to the grand dog or my grandkids. But yeah,
I got called preachy earlier.
You got called preachy?
Yeah, it wasn't said in like a vicious, you know, or a vitriolic tone. I said I'm preachy. I said that's the first time I've heard that criticism of me before. But
Functional says shill our ARC server. Yeah, we've got a Cryptic started an ARC server where some of us are playing ARC. Which, by the way, with the dog last night laying across my lap and trying to play ARC was an adventure. Let's just say at the end of it, I ended up killing my favorite Spino, getting all my dinosaurs all huddled up in the middle of my base, and not being able to find 2 of my RGs, all because I had to lay my keyboard on her back, which was interesting. But yeah, I'm sure you can get with one of us if you're interested in playing ARC with us.
There was another topic I wanted to touch on, if that's all right.
Oh, that's right. You did mention it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, unless you've got pressing news.
No.
Okay.
Nothing that won't wait.
Do you think I'm preachy?
Oh, no, you're not. No.
I get such a complex about things. No.
Boom.
Oh, yeah, I heard that. Damn.
Yeah. I told you.
Fun weather in Indiana.
Yeah.
God damn. Yeah. So see you later, little nigga. There is a topic I wanted to talk about, and I don't need to signal boost them. They're a big enough channel as it is. But the game theorists, or Matt Pat and the film theorists and and the game theory channel and stuff, they put out a video a couple of days ago, and they were talking about the great double standard and the way that YouTubers are treated compared to those who are like mainstream celebrities and whatnot.
Right.
You know, and it's all because Matt Pat receives like a Christmas present from YouTube every year. Well, it's from YouTube or it's from some company or whatever. But he received like a thing from YouTube, and they called him a mid-tier YouTuber. And I was like, eh? He was also like that as well. You know, he's what, 10 million subscribers?
10 million is mid-tier?
Apparently, but what does that make
really
us?
Screwed.
What does that make us exactly?
Barely on the radar.
Not even peons, is it?
Yeah.
Matt Pat mid-tier, yeah. According to YouTube, the game theorist, the film theorists, 10 million subscribers. I don't know how many film theory has, but big channel, really big channel, is mid-tier, on YouTube apparently, and it kind of resulted in him asking the question, why are we treated like that, and why is it that the adpocalypse, both of them, the both major ones, keep happening? And why is it that there are constant hit pieces on YouTubers all the time? And he did mention something about, because he has a gaming channel, that puts him even lower. Gaming channels are treated like crap on YouTube.
Yeah.
For some weird reason, they're treated like scum.
Which is odd, because for a great many people, that's what they come to YouTube for. Before I started making content, before I discovered this genre, the only reason I came to YouTube was to watch Markiplier videos and other gaming videos. That was all the good YouTube was to me in those days.
And a big part of the commentary genre, I'm not talking about what me and Bloodwing do, I'm talking about the proper commentary genre. A big part of what they did was gaming as well.
Yeah. Anthony, Liverpool fan, says my gaming channel has 29 subscribers, makes me worthless then. Ha 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 ha. No, not really. And when I started, I had 7 and they were all family. So yeah, you can do it, dude.
So you have to keep on keeping on. But yeah, the gaming channels are treated like scum. And as Matt Pat said, it's the one genre on YouTube that has done much more for charity and the YouTube community than anybody else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Markiplier and Jacksepticeye, I think combined, have raised $2 million.
Yeah.
I know Matt Pat, and the game theorists have done plenty of charity. PewDiePie recently did a charity live stream, a charity gaming live stream, where he was raising money for children that are basically in work in India. So this charity gets them out of that and into education. He raised $115,000.
Yeah.
And a lot of these gaming channels have raised millions and millions and millions. And yeah, advertisers, especially advertisers, will treat them like scum. They'll look at them and they'll write hit piece after hit piece on them over and over and over again. And Matt Pat even pointed something else out. Logan Paul. Now, yeah, the guy's a bit, but both the Paul brothers are a bit, pair of knobs, but they've still raised a lot of money for charity. Doesn't really matter where it comes from if it goes to something good, in my humble opinion. And they're not gaming channels, but they're still YouTubers, and there are still constant hit pieces that advertisers run for the hills whenever one single YouTuber does something wrong, which is pathetic, because celebrities aren't treated like that.
Yeah, and these guys that you're talking about, Markiplier and Jacksepticeye, and certainly PewDiePie, are as big celebrities and as well known as anybody on the TV or movies in today's society. They're absolutely well, and I've seen this in action. Markiplier, about a year ago, was on a late night talk show here in the United States. Was it Stephen Colbert? I don't rightly remember. I don't remember which one, but the host treated him like crap, just like crap. Yeah,
they do.
And because he was a dirty YouTuber,
it's because somebody like you or me can buy a cheap, crappy webcam, a crappy microphone, and they can set it up in their bedroom or in their living room, or in my case, a shed. And we can make videos, and we can gain more of a following and much more of a loyal fan base of people that we can directly interact with, because you can't do that kind of thing with Beyonce. You can't directly talk to people like that, not without paying a butt ton. And a lot of us, not me or you, but a lot of other people do way better than some channel networks. And the way that some of these people are treated is disgusting. and the way that YouTube as a whole is treated in this manner as well.
Yeah, yeah. We were talking about it just before the stream started, and I'm sure Markiplier makes bank. I mean, let's be honest. He probably makes a lot of bank, and he deserves everything he got. He knew how to promote his brand, and you know, he's earned everything he's got. But a lot of that goes back into charity.
Especially with Markiplier and Jacksepticeye, they do a ton of charity stuff. I know Markiplier and Jacksepticeye are really big on the mental health stuff. And
Circus Zero says, and yet Markiplier didn't I assume he said badmouth him about him afterward either. No, he didn't. He was a class act. He didn't even mention how he was treated, but it was so obvious that the host just like didn't even really understand why they were on his show. It was Markiplier and some other female YouTuber, and I forget who. But
I mean, even somebody like H Bomber guy. Now, I know people are gonna say some shit, but hear me out. H Bomber guy did like a big live stream where he raised a butt ton of money for a charity. I disagree with the charity's motives because it's like trans kids, and I'm not so sure what it is they do or whether they perpetuate the idea or anything. But he still did something for charity, and that's the point that I want to make here. You know, I mean, he was treated. He was treated a lot better than people like Jacksepticeye and Markiplier, PewDiePie, and all that kind of stuff, which is very telling, I might add. But he's still a YouTuber at the end of the day. You know, he's still a YouTuber.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe there'll come a time where YouTubers and whatnot, where they'll be recognized by the mainstream media as legitimate entertainers, you know, and who knows?
What I'd like to do is get the video, but not play it. Just kind of because I know MatPat put the figures on the screen in his video, so it might just give people an idea of how much they've raised. What's this? Rooster Teeth and Jackpat Extra Life, $1.5 million. God damn.
Oh, good.
The quarterings on this list: Toys for Tots, $20,000.
Yeah, that's significant as well. You know, it doesn't have to be $500,000 to make a difference.
Exactly. You know, even I've raised a fair amount of money.
Yeah, you've done your share, and I've thought about at some point, if I can find the proper charity, I'd like to do something for, if there's a charity out there, for, because you know my situation with my father and the dementia and stuff. So I'd like to find something in that respect to support.
Yeah, on screen right now, Jake Paul, $200,000, which I'm not sure what that was for, but one of the first things that PewDiePie did, this is back in the day, like old school when he was super young, when he won King of the Web, he donated all the money that he won to that, to the WWF, and in total he's raised over $1 million on his own.
Yeah, there's a lot of good that's done. I honestly think that part of it is that they're jealous of their own fame. They're afraid that these YouTubers are going to take over, and that's the next big thing. Nobody's going to want to watch their shows anymore. You know.
I just got to the video where he points out the double standards. You know, like Mel Gibson spewed anti-Semitism, talked of killing X, still rich, still gets work. Johnny Depp citing domestic violence, you know, and a bunch of other shit about a load of other different celebrities that get involved in these kind of things, and whether they're guilty of it or not, you know, is kind of irrelevant, you know, because we're treated the same way. I think YouTubers have done 391 Make-A-Wish visits on their own back. And not just that, but YouTubers as well have brought attention to issues that are important to people and saved a lot of lives just by putting their content out there. So fuck you, mainstream. YouTubers are awesome, so shut up.
Yeah, a lot of them are. A lot of them are. All right. Shall we get on to the geese?
Let's have some geese.
Let's have some geese. All right. We're gonna talk about I guess AOC's been replaced in my mind with this Ilhan Omar. We've talked about her the last couple of streams. I'm going to talk about her a little bit more today because there's a couple of interesting articles that I saw. Ilhan Omar claims her Obama comments were distorted, then posts audio confirming controversial remarks.
Say that again. Sorry, you cut out for me.
Ilhan Omar claims her Obama comments were distorted, and then posts audio confirming controversial remarks.
She's one of three of these very loud liberals, isn't she?
Yeah, this is the one that all the kerfuffles about anti-Semitism.
Of course. And with a name like that.
Yeah. Representative Ilhan Omar's attempt to shame a news outlet for misquoting her blistering attack on former President Barack Obama backfired after she released audio of the interview that only served to confirm her remarks.
Yeah.
You don't pick on the darling of the Democratic Party, and that's Mr. Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm.
The Minnesota Democrat, who's faced controversy over comments perceived as anti-Semitic, got into hot water yet again after saying Obama's hope and change message was a mirage and slammed the administration's drone and border detention policies. She told Politico that the Obama administration was responsible for the caging of kids at the U.S.-Mexican border, the droning of countries around the world, and that the 44th president operated within the same fundamentally broken framework as his Republican successor. We can't be only upset with Trump. His policies are bad, but many of the people who came before him also had really bad policies.
Yeah, I was about to say, Kyla, she's not wrong.
She's not wrong, but you're not supposed to say this. Not about their Lord and Savior, Barack Obama. They just were more polished than he was. Omar is quoted as saying in the article, and that's not what we should be looking for anymore. We don't want anybody to get away with murder because they are polished. We want to recognize the actual policies that are behind the pretty face and the smile. Following the article's publication, Omar went on offense on Twitter and accused the outlet's reporter, Tim Alberta, of distorting her words and insisted that she is, in fact, a fan of Obama. How does it feel? You know, we get accused of being racist all the time and feel like we're forced to defend ourselves that we're not racist.
Mm-hmm.
How does it feel?
Yeah, exactly. We say things and they get completely misinterpreted, misrepresented, and taken out of context and then called a racist.
Yep. Exhibit A of how reporters distort words. I'm an Obama fan. I was saying how Trump is different from Obama and why we should focus on policy, not politics. This is why I always tape my interviews, she tweeted, attaching an audio recording of the interview. Whoops, we couldn't access the tweet. And that's written in the article. That's not me. But the move immediately backfired as the recording actually confirmed the comments she made to the news outlet. By Saturday afternoon, she had deleted the tweet. I think for many of us, we think of ourselves as Democrats, but many of the ways that our Democratic leaders have conducted themselves within the system is not one that we are all proud of, she said in the recording. You know, I will talk about the family separation or caging of kids, and then people will point out that it was wrong. I mean, this was Obama. And, you know, I'll say something about the droning of countries around the world, and people will say that was Obama. They're not wrong. Mm-hmm. And all of this is very true. What is happening now is very different. A lot is happening with secrecy. It's happening with the feel-good, polished way of talking about it. So it's different and more wrong now, if I understand what she's saying, because it's not as out in the open and talked about. Is it?
I don't know. You have a super chat, mate.
Let me get back to the direct tab.
Do you want me to read it while you got the news up, mate?
Yeah, please.
Vomit GPP sausage for the £1.99. Thank you very much for choosing to support Bloodwing tonight. Happy birthday, Bloodwing. Smiley face, smiley face.
Almost. You're close. It's the 22nd. Bears is the 21st.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be streaming on Bear's birthday if he's not otherwise tied up, it being his birthday. But yeah.
Oh, yeah, we are, aren't we?
Yeah. I thought for a minute, and you and I discussed this, I had thought for a minute, maybe we'll do a stream on my birthday, but since we stream anyway on yours, we'll just make it both ours.
Okay.
Where did I? Oh, here we go. And we talk about waking people up from the complacency is to say that we can't be only upset with Trump because he's not a politician who sells us his policies in the most perfect way. His policies are bad, but many of the people who came before him also had really bad policies. They just were more polished than she was, she continued. You know, I kind of hate this article because it's making me feel like, you know, you're not wrong. But well, here's the thing, you don't have enough filter to not say it, and you're getting yourself in trouble with your own party. And that's not what we should be looking for anymore. We don't want anybody to get away with murder because they are polished. We want to recognize the actual policies that are behind the pretty face and the smile so that we can understand the kind of negative impact or positive impact they will have on us for generations. Omar's attempt at shaming a media outlet was called out by the reporter who said the rookie congresswoman, misgendered her, tried to bash the media in an effort to avoid the comments she made. Exhibit A of how politicians use the media as a straw man to avoid owning what they said. Your tape supports what I wrote 100%. So does my longer tape. It's beyond dispute, tweeted back the reporter at Omar. Next time, a phone call from your office before the Twitter ambush would be appreciated. The latest controversy came just a day after Omar's comments suggesting that Israel's supporters want U.S. lawmakers to pledge allegiance to the Jewish state, which was widely condemned as echoing the age-old dual loyalty smear against Jewish politicians. Were condemned in a broad anti-bigotry legislation resolution passed by the House. Yeah, not exactly. The only way they got it passed was by they had to add in anti-Muslim as well. You know, Omar's anti-Obama comments are likely to further split the Democratic caucus, which is still reeling from an inter-party fight that erupted in the wake of the anti-bigotry resolution's wording, as Obama remains extremely popular within the party. Progressive Democrats, such as Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and 2020 Democratic presidential candidates like Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, have defended Omar's earlier comments. Of course they did. Yeah, look, I'm not a Democrat, never have been. You know, I'm not a Republican either. But most often as not, I do agree with the Republican viewpoint, you know, probably 95% of the time. I did not jack over, and you can't prove it. I did not goose you. Yeah, it takes a while for my chat to catch back up after I switch back to the screen. Sorry. But the Democratic Party, if any of you are listening right now, I don't know why you would be, but if you are, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you don't muzzle this crew, this regressive crew that you've just recently taken on, it's going to ruin your party. This is what happens when you start acknowledging identity politics and regressivism. And now you're starting to pay for it.
Yeah, they already don't look very good as it is.
Yeah.
Between, you know, AOC saying the things that she does, making the mistakes that she's made. You know, what's the other lady called? I forget. She's another muzzy type, isn't she?
I can't remember her name, but yeah. My memory's poor, very poor, and especially with names.
Yeah, they're not making the party look good at all. Well, I know they're causing issues within their own party, and Nancy Pelosi wants to whip that shit.
But they forced Nancy and the rest of them to add in anti-Muslim verbiage into their resolution, or they weren't going to pass it. So
thank you, Faithless. Yeah, Rashida Tlaib. Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
forgot her name.
So heaven forbid that there be a just plain out, just by itself, anti-Semitic resolution out there. Got to add the Muslims in there. Can't have the Jews have it all by themselves. Did I see Mr. Region's new video about AOC? I have not. I have not. I have said it before. I watch very little content within this genre on my off time. When I'm not streaming and talking with other people here, I'm usually off watching Neebs Gaming or some music reaction channel or something like that.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of anime stuff recently. When I'm watching content, I'm usually logged into Irate Alex, and Irate Alex is my normie channel, you know. So I don't get recommended political stuff. I just watch normie content, I suppose. So
Duck Dog says Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib are the terrorist. AOC is the retard. Yeah. Well put. Having said that, YouTube, if you're listening, the opinions of our chat are not necessarily the opinions of this YouTuber. Disclaimer.
Well, I was banned. Error, try again. Let me try that again. There we go, that's better. No, that one's banned as well. Error, try again. Okay.
What are you trying to do?
Try to type in the chat. I wasn't allowed to say you shut your whole mouth.
Oh,
to Peter.
Maybe they don't like.
Oh, that one went through. Oh no, it wasn't allowed.
All right. Moving on very quickly, we have another article also on her. I may not read all of this, but just enough of it to get the sense of it. Bill Maher changes tune on Ilhan Omar after reading her tweet, says she might be anti-Semitic. Now, Bear, I know you're UK. You may not be aware who Bill Maher is, but he's an extreme left-leaning TV figure and used to be a comedian. That's how he got his start.
Yeah, I know who he is. Yeah,
he's a flat-out idiot. I rarely agree with anything he says, but real-time host Bill Maher reversed course over allegations of anti-Semitism against Representative Ilhan Omar, Democrat, Minnesota, after previously defending her. Amazing how quickly some of these people jump on things and then have to back up because they don't check into stuff. Omar has been accused of anti-Semitism because of controversial tweets suggesting that people who are pro-Israel are bought by groups like the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, AIPAC, AIPAC. First of all, I'm a free speech person. No, you're not, Bill. Shut up. But I believe you're allowed to criticize Israel without being an anti-Semite. I would agree with that. There's legitimate criticism of Israel, and you could do so without being an anti-Semite. Maher said Friday night. Having said that, I've read some of her other tweets. She might be. I don't know what her thoughts are on this. Last month, Maher said he didn't know why Omar's tweets were being viewed as anti-Semitic. I probably don't agree with her a lot about what she feels about Israel and Palestine, but I don't know why this has to be seen as anti-Semitic, Maher said at the time. Now, she may be anti-Semitic, but if I criticize Saudi Arabia, does that mean I'm Islamophobic? Yeah, well,
probably.
According to how they think, yeah.
Yeah.
The HBO star pivoted to House Democrats who struggled with the resolution to condemn Omar's criticism of Israel. The House approved a broader resolution on Thursday condemning anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, racism, and other forms of bigotry. So they watered it down a lot. It became an issue for the Democrats. If we can't censure this person because it's a woman and a person of color, and I think that is identity politics, is it not? Maher said Friday night. It is. It absolutely is. Later, Maher wondered if Democrats could lose the Jewish vote after President Donald Trump attacked them as the anti-Israel and anti-Jewish party. Mar also expressed hope that Omar would appear on his show to discuss the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. I hope she comes on this show and we could talk. And she and I would agree on very little about Israel and Palestine, Mar said. We would agree that Palestinians are victims, but not of Israel. They're victims of other Palestinians, unfortunately. So there you have it. Yeah. She's drawing a lot of fire. Just her within her own party, just her by herself, you know, and, you know, Democrats, I don't care if you want to destroy your own party. I could care less because I've never leaned that way, but just word of warning, that's where you're going.
It's not a good look.
And as my chat, if you guys could see what I see when I switch back to my screen, my chat quickly tries to catch up because it just pauses where it's at when I switch over.
Yeah, mine does that from time to time as well. If I'm looking at something else that I don't have the chat up, I'll go back and then it'll suddenly go woof.
Yeah. But, you know, I can't say that Trump was wrong in calling the anti-Israel party because they're starting to look that way because they don't have the guts to sit down and say to any of their members, even the freshman members, saying you shouldn't say that. You know?
Yeah, it's party politics, isn't it? You know,
yeah. Well, we know what it is, and Bill Maher mentioned it there. It's identity politics. She's a Muslim and she's a woman of color. So, yeah, we can't say we can't call her out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's much like the current situation in the UK, man. I mean, because people tend to hammer people like Diane Abbott and David Lammy with criticism, you know, it's seen as racist. Now, of course, there are people out there being racist assholes to them both. Absolutely, 100% there is. I've seen it myself, right? And you know, block them, do what you have to, I guess. But there is legitimate criticism to be had there.
Yeah.
And because they're so freaking loud about it, naturally they're going to grab the attention of everybody. You know?
Yeah. In my opinion, this is the only logical outcome for them being accepting of and not calling out identity politics and regressivism and all this stuff that you and I have been fighting against for 2.5 years here. It's the only logical outcome. We've been telling them for years it's going to come back to bite them. And yeah, I think they're starting to see that now, at least on a small scale. And if they don't get it, under wraps pretty soon, 2020 is going to be a bad year for them.
Do we have a date on the primary?
I don't know when the primaries start, but it's not long, and both primaries will start. And honestly, even the Republican primary, you're going to see a lot of infighting during that as well. That's just what it's all about. The primary is about Republicans trying to destroy Republicans and Democrats trying to destroy Democrats.
So, I mean, I'm not fully au fait of American politics, as you know.
Right.
I know a little bit, but not enough. So the Republican Party will have their own primary.
Yep.
Why?
It's to choose who among the Republicans should run for president.
But what about Trump?
Well, as the incumbent, he will get the de facto nod if he runs again, which I see no reason why he won't.
So if he chooses to run again, does that mean he has to run in a primary, or is he just...
Yeah, they'll have the primary anyway. 99.9% of the time, the incumbent president, as long as they've only had one term, because, you know, they're restricted to 2 terms now.
Yeah.
But if they've only had one term, 99.9% of the time, the incumbent will get the nod.
So he won't have to like get, if he does run again, he won't have to like go on TV and debate other Republicans.
Probably not. He could, but probably not. They're kind of given the sitting president will kind of get a little bit of a pass on stuff like that.
Okay.
Now, the one that's going to be fun to watch is the Democratic one, and it's going to get vicious. It always does. It always does. These people will try to destroy one another and then act like buddies afterwards. I remember when Obama was running for his first term, he and Ms. Clinton were literally at each other's throats. Oh my gosh, it was vicious. But yeah, I find the primaries much more interesting than the presidential race itself.
Yeah.
If I watch any politics, it's the primaries. It gets pretty funny.
Well, I will have to watch the next one.
Yeah. And having said that, this is a good time for me to take my little break. So if someone said, what is it now? 56 minutes. You are the winners. So talk to chat for a minute.
God
there. I shall
damn
be
it,
right back.
Bloodwing, you could have waited.
You could have waited just a few more.
Yeah, and I could have won.
Yeah. I'll be right back.
All right. What's going on, chat? I hope you're all wait. I hope you're all well. It's the 9th of March, and I'm friggin' 31 in, 11 days? Ugh. Oh, no. Oh, no. It's nearly the end of the... it's 11 days, yeah. Oh, God. What's happening, everybody? I hope you're good in the chat. We have a winner, Void Horizon. Anime takes over the stream now. Absolutely. I started watching RE0 as the second season of Konosuba isn't dubbed. You know how I am about dubs. So I started watching that. I think I'm 3 episodes in. I'm going to continue watching that after the stream. I'll get a couple of episodes in. I also I wasn't able to be in my office for a good period of time earlier, so I was in the living room, and I put on Netflix or the TV and started watching the 7 Deadly Sins again. You didn't watch RE0? Yeah, the first episode was about 45 minutes long. I've noticed that with some anime that now that I've watched recently, the first episode is always really long. But yeah, I started watching it, and the first episode, I really wasn't too sure about it. But I kept going, and it's growing on me. It's growing on me now, so I'll have to continue watching. Bear as a young cub. Yeah. I'm on the right side of 30, I suppose. I believe Log Horizon is dubbed. Good. Watch Shokugeki no Soma. You've made that suggestion to me before, haven't you? Wait till you're almost 50. Yeah. If I make it that far, mate. I couldn't watch the entirety of RE0. The MC bugs the shit out of me. If it makes you feel better, I turned 35. You turned 35 yesterday. Well, happy birthday, Circus Zero. I hope you have had a nice birthday. Your birthday landed on the weekend as well, which is nice. Wrong side of 30. Right side of 30. When you go past 35, that's the wrong side. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that at all. Provided I make it, of course. It's a cooking anime. Yeah, that's the one that you suggested to me, isn't it? Yeah, no. Not until I get Isekai out of my system. I've been recommended a lot of anime to watch. I already bet, in the words of the Holy Pineapple, eat my shit. Whoa. There's no need for that hostility. He's back.
I am back, and I have a very damp dog in my lap. I've been trying to keep her down while I stream, but she just wouldn't have it. She's like, please, Beppo, let me sit up there.
What's going on, P-Dog? I hope you're well, mate. I actually grabbed a news article prior to the stream.
Oh, cool. Jay Wolf says he turned 50. It turns 50 Thursday. Welcome to the 50s. I'm in my last year of the 50s, so or will become my birthday.
It's on the wrong side of 60 right now.
Yes, sir.
Did you want this article by any chance?
But go ahead.
It's regarding Stream Me.
All right.
If you want that. Twitch competitor Stream.me gone after threats against owners' kids. Ethan Ralph, they just decided it wasn't worth it. I've heard a lot of different things about this. I heard that the owner was doxxed. I heard this, that the threats were against the kids. I also heard some other stuff. I don't know what the crack is truly, but I'll just read the article and just make the assumption that it is that. The abrupt disappearance of Texas-based streaming platform StreamMe earlier today has set the internet ablaze with speculation. The rapidly growing live streaming site first errored out with a 404 not found, then a 403 forbidden, and users soon noticed that all Stream.me apps had been removed from the app stores as well. With no updates from StreamMe staff, the live streaming world quickly developed a comprehensive mythology of conspiracy theories. A popular theory advanced on some talk streams held that the streaming platform was merging with Ice Poseidon's upcoming Scuffed.com. Hey, I didn't know he was doing his own streaming website. Fair play to him. Which we will supposedly angle to become the 4chan to Twitch's Tumblr. Others claimed the site had been deplatformed at the domain registrar level. But Ethan Ralph, host of StreamMe's biggest channel and known associate of the site's owners, just now reported via a provisional YouTube edition of his Killstream show that he has spoken to them and been given the real reason for the disappearance. What is going on? What is going on is there's a board of 8chan. They dox the owners of StreamMe, said Ralph, referring to the cow board on the infamous image board popular with edgelords, neo-Nazis, and communists. They doxed their family. There were calls made to the owners saying, "We know where your kids go to school. We know where they live," and they decided to pull the plug on the entire site. The owners' wives also received photos of themselves covered in the troll semen, a practice called tribute. Good Lord. The StreamMe owners have a lot of other business interests, he continued. I would call it a vanity project. It's run at a loss, so certainly understand them just saying, fuck this, it's more problems than it's worth. Referring to the streaming platform's future, Ralph said the StreamMe owners are going to have a meeting about it on Wednesday, but he rated the chances of it coming back at all very slim. One democracy dies in darkness every time you don't support great journalism. Okay, sorry, my bad. I was reading a shill at the end there.
Okay.
For a sponsor for NordVPN. But yeah, that's it is pretty sad. It is pretty sad that it came to this, you know, no matter what happened, which I believe is what Ethan Ralph said. It's still pretty sad, you know, but
real quick, Maniac Man 2030 says, did I walk 15 miles uphill in the rain to use the bathroom? No, it was in the snow. And I would have responded to you in chat, but with this big dog in my lap, I have to make a choice, the dog or my keyboard. So yeah, you know, as you was reading that, I had a thought.
You had a thought?
Yeah, because you mentioned live streams. You know who I'd like to see have their own live stream, weekly live stream?
Go on.
Donald Trump.
Oh, God.
That would be hilarious, would it not?
Could you imagine it? Oh, no. Yeah, no, can we send an email to Trump and be like, yo, Trump, do you have a spare 40 minutes, 1 hour a week just to do a live stream?
Yeah. And you know what? I wouldn't doubt, and this is no joking aside, the way things are going in today's society, I would not doubt it if that's not the way that we're going eventually. That, you know, presidents will have their own weekly live stream, and, you know, instead of just the fireside chat, they did a live stream.
Could you imagine it? Oh, God. Like, all he would have to do is pick out a couple of random articles that have been written about himself.
Yep.
And then sit there and just troll for an hour. And oh, God, could you imagine if he had things like Super Chat?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, we'll probably never get it. Not while he's sitting president, but yeah, of course, come to think about it right now, and maybe we'll get it in a second term because he's trying to get reelected in 2020, and that might be death to his career.
Oh, God, that would be amazing. You think of the people who would just end up being arrested for death threats.
Yeah, the CIA and the Secret Service would just be monitoring the chat. Got another one.
Oh, yeah, exactly. You know, because they guarantee if he did a live stream and he was sat there trolling, they would not be able to help themselves. There's just no way.
Yeah, Perfectly Faded Delusion has a good point. He could fund the wall with his super chats.
Oh my God, he probably could.
Hey, President Trump, Donald, the Trump, the
Call
Donald,
me.
whatever.
Call us. We'll get you set up, mate.
Mr. Orange Man, you know, funny hair, whatever you want to go by right now. Listen, you might want to consider live streaming. We'll pay for that wall. Oh my gosh, what a funny thought.
That would be it. And we have a very rare occasion right now, Mr. Bloodwing.
Oh.
Because I need to go to the toilet.
Oh.
And nobody bet on that, so
fair play. Fair
back
play.
Uno Memento.
Hey, chat, how's it going? I know Bear was talking to you a minute ago, but that was Bear, not me. I hope everybody's having a good time. Corey says broadcast in Mexico and make them pay for it. There you go. There you go. Get super chats and pesos. Oh my gosh, this dog is so wet right now. But I don't have the heart to kick her down. He would break YouTube. Yeah, it probably would. Can you imagine the views that would get? Because the first one would probably all he need, because not only would conservatives and Republicans tune in, but you know all the lefties are going to tune in just to see what he says and just to be upset. Jack Gunsey says, my mother's going to make hermit cookies. I'm very excited. Hey, I like cookies. Jay Wolf says YT servers would fry. Yeah, I'm not sure they can handle it. It would probably break some records. But yeah, I thought that was a funny idea. While Bear's away, I'll take this time to say again, we have 87 watching, 57 likes. We can do a little better, I think. Please like and share the stream if you'd like to support me. And if you want to go a little further and think about donating, there are super chats. There's a link for my Streamlabs and for my Patreon in the description. So there you go, folks. I try not to shield too much. I try not to shout myself out too much because it just doesn't feel right. But, you know. Zombie Teddy says, blood, this rain is making me sleepy. I know, right? When it's raining, that is great sleeping weather. I used to love to go stay at my mom and dad's cabin they used to have during the rain because it had a metal roof. And, oh, man, I could sleep for days in that. Sarah says, I can't like it more than once. It's a shame, isn't it? It's a pity. We have a minute of dead air there. We don't like it. And it sounds like he's back. We're nearly back.
Hello.
Hello. Everything come out all right?
It did, yeah. It did. It came out fine, thank you.
Atheist Icons says, Bloodwing, would you recommend a new crank bolt for my harmonic balancer replacement? If I had a recommendation for that, I'd certainly give it to you. I do absolutely know what that is. I haven't turned wrenches for a few years, so I'm a little bit out of touch on what's good right now.
What's going on, Bloodwing? What's happening?
Oh, they're just talking about my Trump stream idea. People seem to like it. The Demon Man 57, I could see all the Trump haters being dumb enough to super chat Trump with all their orange mad bad and fund the wall. That would be priceless.
Yeah. They literally would as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
They'd be like, fuck you, Trump. Oh, thank you for the donation.
Yeah. I swear some of them haters just don't get it. Yeah. Throw me that hate super chat. Go ahead.
Simius of Thieves, hello.
Yeah.
I hope you're well, mate. I hope you're well. Did you have any more news?
Honestly, I hadn't had a whole lot of time today to look through them. I'm now cruising through to see if anything stands out. Don't want anything too depressing, of course.
Of course. Let's see if I can't find some fun news.
Right.
Whilst you're doing that.
Well, I would read that, but it's the Washington Post, and we all know that they put their stuff behind a paywall. To heck with you, Washington Post. But the headline is House Democrats torn over how aggressively to scrutinize Ivanka Trump, president's other children. Gosh, it's all depressing. This one died, and that one died, and this kid got killed, and oh my gosh.
How about this? YouTube will soon tell you that the world isn't flat. Vaccines work and other obvious truths. Of course, it's referring to the suppression of certain beliefs on the platform, which we have spoken about in previous weeks.
Absolutely.
Which I'm not really in favor of, because that's content I could use to respond to, fuckers. And I believe in freedom of speech, even if what you have to say is completely fucking retarded.
Yeah.
You know, that's what freedom of speech is for, so that good ideas can, you know, make it to the top. According to BuzzFeed, YouTube is testing out a new feature which shows fact-checking warnings. I've actually seen these on some videos, by the way. I've seen it. Just below the title of a video, there'll be a link to a Wikipedia article, or it will show a portion of the Wikipedia article below it that, quote-unquote, debunks whatever the person's talking about in their video.
Right.
I've seen it on my phone. According to BuzzFeed, YouTube is testing out a new feature which shows fact-checking warnings when searching for content known to spread misinformation. The feature is currently live for some users in India. I live in India, and shows information panels on search results. I've seen it myself, not videos themselves, which provide disclaimers acquired from YouTube's fact-checking partners, which I imagine is like Snopes or whatever. A spokesperson from YouTube told BuzzFeed, as part of our ongoing efforts to build a better news experience on YouTube, we are expanding our information panels to bring fact checks from eligible publishers to YouTube. In other words, approved by the state. Videos containing misinformation won't suffer any change themselves. Instead, the new information panels will serve as a disclaimer that the information in videos associated with a given query may be contentious or misleading. Not just that, but they aren't just doing that. They are straight up just like purging some of the content as well. They are just straight up banning it. It's not just a case of, here's a link to a Wikipedia article and why vaccines do actually work. They are going that one extra step and banning some of the content.
And I'm not a big fan of that either. I mean, in my opinion, those kind of channels are their own worst enemy. I mean,
yeah, they are. Yeah,
let them drone on, because it just shows how dumb they are.
You know? Yeah, and it's good content to respond to. Everybody likes a nice response video.
And even if it's not on YouTube, that kind of information, that kind of content is just prevalent on the internet. It's all over the place, and it's not hard to find. A simple Google search, and so people are going to get it anyway. YouTube, you might as well let them do it on your channel and maybe make a little money off of it.
Yeah. Yeah, but then of course, don't forget YouTubers aren't held in the same regard as actual scumbags. Yeah. And it would end up just causing another adpocalypse in the process. What else have I got here? Okay, rapper Self-Made Cash, that's what he calls himself, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, no, a bit weird. Who wears gold credit card necklace. I'm just going to say that one more time, just in case you didn't let that process in your mind. Who wears a gold credit card necklace charged with credit card theft.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Not that I'm surprised, but that's It is kind of poetic, isn't it? There's a bit of poetry there.
Kyla says, why? I don't know. Like, I thought this to myself earlier, you know, I'm a person in search of knowledge, trying to understand things. And yet, most of the time, I find myself just sat here going, why? Why? And then I just go watch anime because I'm not going to find out the reason.
Right.
Do you want to see it? Do you want to see his gold credit card?
Okay.
I'll show you.
Oh, Lord.
I wonder
sure
if it's
enough
usable.
is.
I wonder if it's usable.
I don't know.
Michigan, a Detroit rapper who wears a jewel-encrusted gold... Oh, if it's jewel-encrusted, it won't be.
Yeah.
Gold credit card around his neck in rap videos and calls himself the greatest swiper of all time. So you know you had to get yourself in debt, man. That's not a good thing to... It's a strange flex, but okay. Of all time, faces several credit card theft charges. Jonathan Woods, aka Self-Made Cash, was charged with wire fraud, aggravated identity theft, and possession of unauthorized access devices. Authorities said the 25-year-old Detroit man frequently posted pictures and videos on social media with large amounts of cash, credit cards, and credit card skimmers to promote his proclivity for credit card fraud. Oh, good grief.
Number one says he didn't mean to do it. He picked up the wrong necklace.
Oh, Batman says, do you ever get annoyed by the feeling of your mind boggling? Yeah.
Swiper, no swiping.
What a tard, honestly. A woman was killed after a hungry driver on the Whole30 diet ran her over. That's a bit grim.
Yeah.
What else do we have? Man told he's going to die by doctor on video link robot. That wasn't very nice, was it?
Yeah.
Cops disciplined for swiping snacks from firefighters.
What?
Gibbs. Gibbs them. Troy cops disciplined for swiping snacks from firefighters. Cause a bloody war between the fire service and the police. Some Troy police firefighters have gotten into trouble for swiping snacks from the city's firefighters. In a joint statement from the Troy Police Department and the Troy Fire Department, officials said the officers involved in the snack snatching have been disciplined, and the matter is considered closed by both departments. Officials did not say what the punishment was. Probably had to go buy them some snacks back or something. The police and fire department looks forward to moving ahead with the same outstanding working relationship. I want to see them get into like an old school 1970s, or well, maybe even like a 1940s gang fight, you know, where they're all leant up against a wall, snapping their thumbs, you know. It'd be like gangs in New York when all the firefighters start fighting each other.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Wow. That's weird.
Wait.
Zombie Teddy says coffee shop in California loses license because bikini barristers are wearing too revealing photo outfits. So he didn't know how to link in the chat. Just copy and paste it, dude, as far as I know. I would look it up, but as you know, I have a potato of a laptop and it doesn't like it when I try to do searches while I'm streaming. But the title's enough.
I have something else that may tickle you.
Okay.
In fact, I have two things that may tickle you.
Okay.
Lawmakers debate merits of Nickelback band on House floor.
Okay.
Sounds like something they should be up to, I guess. The band Nickelback got a surprise mention on floor of the House of Representatives Thursday when two congressmen exchanged strong opinions about the band.
All right.
Fairly sure that's not what their job is.
I'm pretty sure there's a better use of our time on the, you know.
Yeah. Ari Shapiro, host, the band Nickelback was a surprise topic of discussion on the House of Floor yesterday. Sound bites of song How You Remind Me. Nickelback singing This Is How You Remind Me How I Really Am. Shapiro, Democratic Congressman Mark Pocan of Wisconsin dissed the group while debating a voting rights provision. Mark Pocan, this is him talking. 77,000 people did comment. Only 4 wanted to keep this provision. That's probably about the percent of people who think Nickelback is their favorite band in this country. It's pretty low. Then Rodney Davis comes back saying, why would you criticize one of the greatest bands of the 90s? And then Pocan says, wow. Then Shapiro says, Congressman Rodney Davis, a Republican from Illinois, passionately defended Nickelback's honor. Davis speaking, I actually do have a Nickelback song on my running playlist that I listen to on a regular basis. Then Davis speaks again. I know he did not mean to offend the many thousands upon thousands of Nickelback fans in his district in Wisconsin. Then someone called Cornish says NPR Music Stephen Thompson is from Wisconsin. He had something to say about that. It just kind of goes on.
Yeah,
they're just debating it on the House of
I
Representatives.
can't believe that's still a topic to discussion anywhere, let alone on the House floor.
Yes,
I mean, I get it, and I have a bit of a controversial opinion about that. I know Nickelback has got a lot of grief over the years. I like some of their stuff.
So do I.
I don't hate them. I don't think they're the worst band ever. And I've always felt like, yeah, they've done some stuff, and you can make an argument they sold out and sounded the same and all that, but that does not make them the worst band ever. And I've always felt that people that loudly proclaim that opinion are just music snobs. So, that's my opinion, and it's probably a bit controversial. You can feel any way about it you want. And I really like that song. This is the you mentioned. Yeah, my memories.
I like Animals.
Yeah,
I think it's a very fast-paced, fun song.
Yeah.
I enjoy it quite a lot. I have one more piece of news, unless you have anything else, mate.
No, you go right ahead.
Irish woman jailed for criminal damage to €1.50 crisps. This is an older article. It's from last year in November.
Okay.
Fairly sure we had this on Ghost Poo, actually. A woman has been jailed by the Irish courts for causing criminal damage to a packet of crisps, which is basically Pringles.
Right.
Probably ready salted flavor. Kathleen McDonough, age 25, opened some Pringles at a Tesco, that's a supermarket for Americans out there, in the city of Cork before she had paid for them. The woman had been banned from the store and told the court she opened the crisps so that security would be forced to let her pay for it. Yeah, I remember you talk about this article. Yeah. It's something that we covered on Ghost Poo. It's quite funny, in my opinion. She's arrested for basically opening up a packet of chips, as Americans would call it.
Yes,
it's pretty funny one.
Of course, chips here is a pretty broad term. Any snack food that it could be potato, corn, whatever, and if it's a crispy baked or deep fried form, it's a chip. Potato chips are a chip. Doritos are a chip.
Oh my god. Okay, do you want one that'll make you mad?
Oh, might as well.
I'm gonna have to DM it to you though, because I'm not allowed access to it.
Well, I may not either. And by the way, I did get a Twitter DM from Monkey saying that his son is up, so he wouldn't be on the stream. I didn't see it earlier, but I got it.
Yeah, so I've sent it to you, mate, to read it if you want to.
All right, just waiting for Twitter to tell me that I got it. There we are. Unvaccinated boy spends 47 days in ICU. See if it'll let me open it. Yeah. Unvaccinated boy spends 47 days in ICU with tetanus. Yeah, I'd seen this. And his parents still refused to get him vaccinated. A 6-year-old boy in Oregon, of course it's in Oregon, fell down while playing on a farm and cut his forehead. And if he'd had his standard childhood shots, you wouldn't be reading about him. But the boy was unvaccinated, and he ended up suffering greatly and almost dying from the first childhood case of tetanus doctors in the state had seen in more than 30 years, the Oregonian reports. A report from the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention says the boy was airlifted to a hospital after suffering symptoms, including jaw clenching, muscle spasms, and arching of the neck and back. He spent 57 days in the hospital, including 47 days in intensive care, and had to breathe through a tube inserted into his windpipe. Doctors diagnosed him with tetanus and gave him a dose of the vaccine. So they didn't want to have him vaccinated because they don't like it, but he got the vaccine anyway to save his life. Kind of wasted your time, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
The boy was able to return to normal activities around a month after leaving the hospital. His family, who received a bill for more than $800,000, good grief, declined the necessary second dose of the tetanus vaccination and all other vaccines. Even after all that, your child almost dies. Huh? Sorry, my wife had said something to me there and distracted me. After paying all that money, your child almost dies, and you're still not. And the vaccine clearly saved his life.
Mm-hmm.
And you're, oh boy, you are. There are morons, and then there are morons, and this is one of the latter.
People who shouldn't be allowed to friggin' breed or breathe, for that matter.
Yeah. Infectious disease expert Dr. William Schaffner tells Live Science that the boy's illness was a tragic event that was completely preventable, and the parents' decision not to vaccinate him even after the illness was a second tragedy. Schaffner says the bacterium that causes tetanus is everywhere, including in our soil, and vaccination is the only real protection. Oregon is also experiencing a measles outbreak caused by failure to vaccinate children. Yes, they are. And that's why I said, of course, it's in Oregon. What is the matter with you people? I mean, honestly.
But vaccines cause autism. Bloodwing, have you not heard?
I've said it before. I'll say it again. I would rather have a child with autism than a dead child.
Yeah.
Given the choice, if those were my only two choices, and they're not, but let's say they're right, because it's been debunked many times. If my only choices were a dead child or an autistic child, I'd choose the autistic child each and every time.
Mm-hmm. This is what Child Protective Services is for, really.
Yeah, Batman has a point. Some people should have their kids taken off them for their own good. These people are major causes of pandemics. I agree.
Yeah.
And BG says, not to mention tetanus is a horrible way to die. It is, because it alluded to it. But tetanus will give you what's called lockjaw. It's not pleasant.
At what point do we decide as a society to take away these people's rights and just take their kids?
Yeah.
And then force the kids to have the vaccinations?
Yeah. I don't know. But it's Oregon, which is extremely liberal. I mean, to the extreme. They I swear sometimes Oregon makes California look like they're conservative. They're just that bad. And so it'll probably never happen there. Now, if that had happened in some of the states in the Midwest, by now those parents would have already have been arrested and their child would have been in the care of protective services. I don't understand this whole anti-vax things. I know we were talking earlier about conspiracy theories like flat earth and everything, but this one, is really dangerous. You know, flat Earth hurts nobody. It just shows you're stupid. I mean, oh my gosh, I seen a video one time, this has been a long time ago, of a guy that was trying to prove that there was a secret second sun that the government knew about, but they wouldn't tell us about. There's a second sun in the sky that we can never see. And he proved it because in the side of his truck over the wheel well, there was a reflection of two suns.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind that the metal bent right there. So, yeah. But that stuff is harmless. It just proves you're dumb and have no logical processes at all within your brain. Mm-hmm. This is dangerous.
Very. People die because of this.
Batman says it's clear most of the people with functioning brains died on the Oregon Trail. That might be it. I don't know. I just don't understand. Jen says, I'm thinking it's a cult mentality. And I think that plays into it. Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
It plays into it because, you know, we read stories over and over where people are, and this goes for both. It's not just left people. There's people on the right that are quick to jump on an idea without thoroughly checking it out. You know, and then even once it's disproven, they double down instead of backing off and say, well, maybe you're right.
Mm-hmm.
But, oh, gosh. You know, I am, being conservative, I'm not a fan of big government. But, gee, something needs to be done about these anti-vaxxers.
It really does, yeah.
Because it's not just, if it was just them and their own children that were at risk, it wouldn't be as big a deal. It would still be a big deal, and it'd be an extreme tragedy that they're putting there, because it's their children's lives they're gambling with, not their own, their children.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you want to gamble with your life, go right ahead, but not your kids.
Yeah.
But this isn't just them and their kids. This affects everybody that comes into contact with them.
Yeah. Make a brand new strain, make it stronger.
Right.
So the current vaccinations don't bloody work.
You know, and at what point does that become to how far of an epidemic does it have to get before legislation is made that you can't do that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't do that.
Yeah, I was really big on making sure that my kids were done. I mean, when Alfie was born, I was like, they were like, do you want to give him the vitamin K injection? I was like, yeah.
I never thought twice about it. You know, when we were getting our kids vaccinated, when it was time for vaccinations, of course, let's do it. You know, because by that time there was plenty of evidence available that it helped to kill off these diseases and make them non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
Bodacious T, slippery slope. Doctors and companies are no way infallible. Of course they're not. Of course they're not. But we're talking about these vaccinations. This stuff has been debunked over and over. It was debunked almost immediately from the time that it hit the public consciousness. You know, we're talking about these vaccines that have been proven to save lives.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Did you have anything else, Bear? It did tick me off. You were right. You know me too well.
I'm just going because we've been accused of straw manning in the chat there regarding anti-vaxxers. So what are the side effects? Of course, this is from the NHS website, which is a reputable source. Most side effects of vaccinations are mild and short-lived. They do not cause autism. It's quite common to have redness or swelling around the injection site, but this goes away. Younger children or babies may be a bit irritable or unwell or have slight temperature, but this usually goes away within 1 or 2 days. No autism. Rare side effects. In much rarer cases, some people have an allergic reaction soon after the vaccination. This is usually a rash or itching that affects part or all of the body. The GPs and nurses who give the vaccine are trained in how to treat this. On very rare occasions, a severe allergic reaction may happen within a few minutes of the vaccination. This is called a anaphylactic reaction. It can lead to breathing difficulties and in some cases collapse. Not autism. Remember that anaphylactic reactions are extremely rare, less than 1 in a million. Vaccination staff are trained to deal with this, and these reactions are completely reversible if treated promptly. Of course, the benefits of a vaccination are vaccination is different from giving medicine to an unwell child to make them better. The benefits of vaccination are invisible. The idea is that your child won't become ill with measles or end up in intensive care with meningitis. It may be tempting to say no to vaccination and leave it to nature. However, deciding not to vaccinate your child puts them at risk of catching a range of potential serious, even fatal diseases. Now, of course, what is in a vaccine? Of course, well, let's have a look at
real
that.
quick. Thank you for the donation, Tyrell Deos, stopping by to throw you a few bucks for a pimp cane. Thanks. Thank you very much.
A pimp cane.
Yeah.
Of course, inside vaccines, they let's have a look. The main active ingredient of any vaccine is the disease-causing virus, bacteria, or toxin, but a number of other components are needed to make the final vaccine as safe, as effective as possible. They have vaccines contain killed, inactive, or live versions of the disease, which we already knew, but it's the other stuff that apparently cause autism. So thiamercil, which is mercury, is no longer used in any of the vaccines routinely given to babies and young children in the NHS childhood immunization program. It is no longer used in any of the vaccines routinely given to adults in the UK. I don't know about America. This is the NHS website. Although there have been concerns in the past that vaccines contain thiamercil can cause autism, there's no scientific evidence that this is the case. And of course, that is a statement from the World Health Organization, which is a lot more trustworthy source than some rando on YouTube. Adjuvants are substances added to some vaccines that help to boost our immune response and make the vaccine more effective and long-lasting. Using an adjuvant makes it possible to reduce the amount of antigen used in a vaccine and sometimes the number of doses that need to be given. The amount of adjuvant used in the vaccine is very small and it has been shown to be safe, although they can be associated with minor reactions such as small temporary lump or redness in the injection site. Not autism. They have pork gelatin in it, which gelatin derived from pigs is used as a stabilizing agent in some vaccines. Stabilizers are added to vaccines to help protect them from the effects of heat or freeze drying and also help maintain the shelf life of the vaccine. The only vaccines containing gelatin in the UK routine vaccination schedule are the shingles vaccine and the children's nasal flu vaccine. Both of my kids have had those, and the one of two types of the MMR vaccine. There have been a small number of allergic reactions to vaccines containing gelatin. Pretty much it. Of course, there's the human serum albumin in vaccines. Human serum is a substance from human blood. It's a protein used to stabilize a vaccine and maintain its quality during storage. That itself doesn't cause autism either.
Let me address some in chat are saying, the anti-vaxxers are misrepresented because the problem's not with the vaccine itself, but with the things that are added to the vaccine. And yeah, I'm very well aware that is the issue. And these things are added to them, as Bear mentioned, to help them to give them a little bit more shelf life. And it is such an infinitesimal amount that it can't possibly, you probably get more of that mercury out of eating fish than you get out of that vaccine. And that's a real thing, people. You get mercury when you eat fish. There's just absolutely no evidence whatsoever that vaccines will give you autism. None. Until somebody can show me irrefutable evidence that it does so, I will continue to hold this viewpoint.
Because Midnight Exile there trying to hold me to account, saying that the British government says one thing and obviously hides another. I did mention the World Health Organization, which isn't the British government. So,
Jack Gunsey says the mercury is gone now. That might be. I don't know.
It certainly is here in the UK anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, come on. Somebody also mentioned that you've got the anti-vaxxers, then you've got illegal immigrants trying to sneak in and they're not vaccinated. And then what do you got? Yeah, exactly. Hey, Six. Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, Next Six, what's going on, man?
Yeah. Here's my thing. I was vaccinated as a child with all the vaccinations that were available at that time in the 60s. I've lived for 59 years. I've raised 3 children. I have 10 grandchildren, and they all have friends. And I have never once in my life met a single child that got autism from vaccinations. You would think that in all that time and all the contacts that I've had in 59 years, can you imagine how many people I've met in 59 years? That I would, at least not to my knowledge. And you would think that if they really had, they'd have raised a stink about it and made me aware of it. It's just, yeah. Oliver Cromwell says it can cause autism in children predisposed to autoimmune responses, but that number is extremely low. And that might be, I would have to research. I don't know. I don't claim to be an expert. I'm just coming at this as a parent and grandparent and somebody with half a brain. You know? So I will admit, I don't know everything there is to know about it. But yeah.
Autism comes from genetic and environmental factors that can't be helped.
Yeah, you may have met 5 people with autism, not including Ira Vera, Batman, but did they get it from vaccines? And then there's people that say, well, there's been a big uptick in the reporting of autism in the last few years. Yeah. Part of that is because it's overdiagnosed, I think.
Sorry, I'm just, Vanilla Bear's about to go to work.
Oh, well, yeah. Get your kiss goodbye, man. There you go.
Give me a text when you get there, please. All right.
Jack Gunsey said, how does one cause autism? Autism is in your genetic code. Yeah.
It can be caused by environmental factors and genetics.
Yeah. Batman says, no, they didn't get it from vaccines. And that is my point. You know, I can't claim to know everybody, but you would think in all that time, I would have met one if it's such an issue. People, there's not one medical procedure, vaccinations, surgeries, medications, whatever, that does not have some type of side effect, however rare. Not one. And you have to weigh the benefits against, you know, the cons. You know, you don't believe me? If you live in America, just watch any commercial for some medical product like Viagra or whatever, and listen to how long the list is that they're required to list at the end of it. You know, the guy that talks real fast, at the end of every one of those commercials, that tells you what all the side effects are.
We should have got Jeff.
Yeah. Jeff knows far more about this than I do. It's really not my ballywick, but it does get my gets my jimmies in a twist, so to speak. So yeah, let's move away from that. I don't want to be mad anymore, and that makes me mad. If you haven't caught on yet, and I've said it before, you hurt a kid, there's nothing that bothers me worse. Bear knows this. I love scary movies, absolutely love them, although it's rare to find a good one anymore. Absolutely love scary movies, but I will not watch one that hurts a kid. That's just, I can't do it because I feel that strongly about it. So it's about story time. Since I have the doggo here this weekend, it reminded me of a short story that I had of another dog that I used to have. I know you've heard this story, but I'm pretty sure I haven't told it on this channel.
Okay.
Pretty sure I haven't told it. And if I have, I apologize. Years ago when my kids were small, we had a dog, a pretty big dog, around 80 pounds. He too thought he was a lap dog. Stupid horse. And he was a brute. I mean, he could break dog chains left, right, and center. So we started putting him on a heavier chain. So then he started breaking his collars. He was just a brute.
Mm.
But when he was a puppy, this is how smart he was. When he's a puppy, y'all know I love dogs. I love them to death, and I've got an extreme soft spot for dogs. I really do. But there's one thing I cannot tolerate, and I will train a dog against as soon as possible, and that's begging when I'm eating. It just
I feel you there.
Yeah, don't beg off me, while I'm eating. If I want you to have some of it, I'll offer it to you, but don't sit over and beg. So this dog, his name was Shade, or we called him Shady, because he was black. Yeah, creative, wasn't it? When he was just a very young puppy, I was eating in the front room, as we're wont to do. We rarely eat at a table. I was eating in the front room, and he was sitting at my feet begging. And I said, Shady, go lay down. Don't beg. Go lay down. So he went across the room and laid down. He turned around where he could see me, of course, but he laid down. And I looked down to take a bite out of my plate. I looked up, and he's just a little bit closer. I'm like, okay, well, maybe he didn't go as far across the room as I thought he did. But, So I look down, take another bite again. I look up, and he's just a tiny bit closer again. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to figure out what's going on here. So I look down at my plate, and as I'm pretending to take a bite, I'm looking over the top of my glasses at him. And this dog is belly crawling when he thinks I can't see him. As soon as I'd look up, he'd stop. And I'd look down, he'd start belly crawling again. Stop. And I couldn't even yell at him for it because, folks, he was doing what I told him to do, lay down. He never got up. But so there's my cute little story for today.
There you go.
Yeah.
10 minutes of questions?
Yeah.
And then wrap it up for the weekend?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to try to get some art playing in this weekend if I can keep the dog out of my lap. That's a big if, though.
I'm going to binge all the anime.
But you can binge all my anime too.
Back in a sec, mate.
Alrighty. Batman dogs are sneaky. Yeah, they can be. They can be. But I had to hand it to him. I honestly, I laughed. In spite of myself, I laughed out loud because he done exactly what I told him to do, and he was being smart about it. So, as I recall, I probably gave him what was left on my plate just for being so inventive. Well, he stepped away for a minute, but Simeons wants to know when he's moving to the States. We'd sure like to get that to happen. Batman says, what do you call a millennial without an iPhone? A coma victim. Right?
What?
Batman asks, what do you call a millennial without an iPhone? A coma victim. Simeus wanted to know when you're moving to the States.
One day when I become an internet YouTube sensation, which will probably never happen, but oh well.
Carrick says my uncle's Hamilton Stevie used to do the same thing when he was told to stay somewhere. Each time he got told off, he'd go back and start crawling closer over again. Gotta love dogs, man. Gotta love them.
I'm a big fan of bigger dogs. Yeah.
Well, as you could tell, she's what I would call a medium-sized dog. On the bigger end of medium-sized dog, but a medium-sized dog.
Mm.
About 50 pounds.
Yeah.
Come on, Chad. I know you've got some questions.
Next 6 is off. See you later, mate.
Yep. Have fun, buddy.
I think I'll close
Says
Discord
big
down.
dogs are great. It's not that I'm totally against small, what I would call ankle biters. It's just I don't know. I just have a real affinity for the big dogs. They just are more cuddly to me.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
it's something you can wrap your arms around and just give a big hug.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I've seen one, but I've never actually been close enough to touch. Is a Saint Bernard's.
Yeah. I actually knew somebody that had a Saint Bernard, and they are massive.
They're big and cuddly.
You don't really get a sense of just how big they are until you see one in person. They are massive. Simeon says, "Oh man, BB gun or pellet gun? Both, depending on the situation. If we're talking about a pump pellet gun, love those things. If you can pump it, if you got the strength to pump it enough, it can be as powerful as a 22."
Sarah says, if you could have any dog, money isn't an option. What dog would you have? Oh, see, it's either a Husky, a Malamute, or a Saint Bernard's.
I would have another Chesapeake. Shady was a Chesapeake mix. Chesapeake is a very large breed of Labrador. They have slightly longer hair and webbed toes, and they have been known to get as big as 7 foot tall on their hind legs. That's not always, but they can get pretty big.
Damn.
BG also, they combined different disorders into an autism spectrum. Asperger's syndrome used to be a separate diagnosis. Yes. So when more disorders are autism, of course, there are more diagnoses of it. Exactly. That was my point. Yeah. I'm trying to keep up, guys, but I'm not used to this much interaction on my channel. And my old eyes have a hard time keeping up with it when the chat moves.
Aye.
So, favorite Warframe? Rhino.
The tank.
Rhino. But I have an affinity. Oh, what was the one? My brain's acting up. What was the one I really liked? The one you could troll people with that could not be touched. It looked like he wore a top hat.
Oh, I know. Yeah, you could go in and out of reality with him, couldn't you?
Oh, and you could really troll people with it because you could make them phase out.
Yes.
Oh, I forget his name, but I do. I like that one. But Rhino,
Limbo was his name. Yeah, Limbo.
Yeah. Limbo is. But if I had to pick one, Rhino is my hands down favorite. I
did like the tankier frames. Yeah. You know me, I'm a tank player anyway. Rhino.
What was the name of the one that could turn into like a butterfly?
Oh, the one where I used to go, I'm a fairy.
Yeah, that's Bear's favorite. He would turn into, as soon as he would transform, he'd holler, "I'm a fairy." Wished I'd have saved that clip on audio.
I forget what her name is. Trinity. Yeah, Trinity. Yeah. Fly around the map.
Mine are labs. Sarah says
Titania. Yeah, sorry.
Titania. Yeah, absolutely. I haven't played Warframe in a while, as you can tell. I'll get back to it eventually when I quit being distracted by other games. Batman wants to know, what do I get if you cross an elephant with a kangaroo? Giant potholes all over Australia. Why did I laugh at that? Yes. Carrick says, said dog I mentioned earlier was a giant sweetie, but had no clue how strong he was. Knocked me over more than once without realizing it when I was tall. Shady was the same way. He was just a brute, and he wouldn't hurt you on purpose. Not a child. No way in the world would he hurt a child on purpose. But he was known to not only knock them over, he'd step on their feet, and he was such a brute, it hurt. He was a really smart one. He loved to play fight, as dogs do, and he would bite my hands. Now, I played with him harder than the others. and he knew he could bite me harder, you know. But if I said, Shady, easy, you could just feel him backing off the bite, you know. Easy. But he wouldn't go there with other people. He immediately went to the easy mode. He just knew that I would play harder with him. Yeah. Pumpkin Trucker says, I like hot coffee. Does liking my coffee before it's cool make me a hipster? No, I like hot coffee too. I will drink it like lukewarm, you know, if I'm too lazy to get up and heat it up. But yeah, I like my coffee, and I like it without cream or sugar. Bloodwing, which breeds would you like to mix? Again, going back to Shady, he was a mix of, his mother was a full-blooded Chesapeake, and his father was a Husky Chow mix. Very interesting looking dog. Very interesting. Had the big Chow head. Huge head. Had a huge head and huge paws.
You know, I wouldn't want one, but I would like to actually get up close with one of those big ass Russian guard dog things that are basically the size of a bear.
Oh yeah. Perfectly Faded Delusion, Bloodwing. What did the elephant say to the naked man? I don't know. What did he say? Oh, you have a very small trunk.
Thank you, Kyla.
Carrick says, still loved him to death, but he gave me one of the biggest bumps on the back of my head I've ever had by knocking me straight into the fridge when he ran over to greet someone else. Deck Train says, try Vietnamese coffee. If I am presented with the opportunity, I absolutely will. Absolutely. The Batman, thank you for the super chat. If you hook a small dog like a terrier just right, you can send it flying over a 6-foot fence with ease.
I was looking at Tibetan Mastiffs. Oh, they're gorgeous. They're huge. It's like the size of a friggin' horse. And it's got a mane like a lion.
Wow.
You'd be there for hours brushing one of them.
Loki Baldur's Bane, I'm bored. I'm sorry. Don't know what to do for you. I've never been bored a day in my life. And that's honest goodness truth. I'm not making something up there.
Look,
too much going on in my old noggin to be bored.
It's like a lion.
Really?
Look.
Let me get over here and I'll present you. Wow, that's massive. And I like that.
So do I.
I bet that dude could give good hugs.
Yeah. They're little Nazi Mastiff there. Look at that. Look at that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Freaking eat ya.
No kidding.
There's someone holding it up there. Oh, well, it's not holding it up. I thought there was someone behind it, but it's fur.
Standing up, yeah.
Oh!
I'd do it.
Gorgeous.
Probably eat you out of house and home.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know that there's any way I could afford such a thing.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Can you imagine the cost in food?
Oh, yeah. Imagine how much it costs itself. They were temple guard dogs. I can see why. They're bloody terrifying.
Jack Gunsky, have you ever seen the movie Max Dugan Returns? It features a Great Dane. It sounds very familiar, but I don't recall it. And having said that, and Sarah says they guard against wolves and bears. So yeah, they'd have to be massive.
Yeah.
Having said that, it is now that time, folks.
It is
time to end the stream, and I'm getting to the point where I'm going to have to go to the restroom again anyway, so it's going to be one of those days. BG says you're never bored since you have too many hold my beer moments. That's true too. Thank you, chat, for showing up. Thank you for hanging out with me and all the likes. And look at that, 75 watching now, 70 likes. I love it. And of course, one dislike, and which is all the same to me. It's all interaction. Thank you for the donations. Thank you, Bear, as always. Anything you want to show?
Yeah, I put out a brand new video over at Irate Alex last night. My top 5 anime. It was a collaboration with Dax, where we gave our top 5 anime in a video. Go check it out, guys. There's the link in the chat. And wife is just typed in the chat saying that she's at work. I'm glad to see you got there safely. She got there safely.
Yeah. Well, yeah, go check it out, folks. Anyway, this has been Bloodwing and Irate Bear with Redneck Radio. And as always, get out of my yard.
Have a good weekend, guys. Peace out.